Good freaking job, Genji. Now we lost anyway. Why should I even try? Might as well go Symmetra now. But did you really lose already? Hey, what's up guys, Cliff here once again and welcome back to Overwatch. Today I would like to discuss the importance of team morale in Overwatch competitive. I've had this happen time and time again. We're setting up our defenses and get overrun quickly because the enemies were running something we didn't expect. The first thing that usually happens is that somebody blames someone else. At this point people start to tilt, they go in without their team, get wiped again and people start calling GG. This attitude alone might be what just lost you the game, not getting wiped in the first two engagements. Now let's talk about why. Overwatch is a game that has been deliberately designed with esports in mind. Blizzard wanted the game to be exciting to watch and they did not want to make a game where you can tell early that someone has already won. That's why it took them so long to change the overtime and coin flip mechanics. It's because they thought they were exciting. Comebacks are exciting. Keeping that in mind, rather than calling GG early, you should figure out what went wrong. Keep your head calm and suggest swaps without getting unnecessarily hostile. The biggest problem in those situations, however, and you won't be able to fix this no matter how hard you try, is people already giving up at this point. These pessimistic people who right off the bat think they lost because they didn't win the first engagement rarely ever listen to reason, and that's a problem you will never be able to solve, so you just gotta try to work with what you have. The worst thing you can do is escalate things by calling names or starting to attack someone because of their crappy attitude. You have to start working what you have and make sure that negativity doesn't spread to the rest of the team. If they're just calling doom and gloom, throw in a quick "we didn't lose yet" and then talk to people who are actually worth your time and suggest swaps if need be. Remind people not to go in on their own but to team up, or else it just keeps snowballing. Be as analytic as you possibly can be and try to figure out what you can do to stop the onslaught and keep the team morale high. Sometimes all you need is one pick on a key hero who has been causing a lot of trouble, like Winston, Pharah or Mei, so reminding people to focus their fire on them can help. Try to stabilize as quickly as possible to try to convince the one guy on your team who already called GG that you didn't lose yet. Ignoring his remarks and instead managing to push back the enemies is the best way to make them lose this attitude, at least for the time being. And for the love of God, do not be all like, "See, we didn't lose yet." I know that a lot of people don't mean to come off as a smartass or whatever, but do keep in mind that you're dealing with people who already behave unreasonably anyway. Just say, "well played everybody," or something along those lines. Don't even acknowledge that he's been an idiot. Now what I'd like to do next in this video is to break down the top reasons why people get so negative and how you can avoid or try to fix those situations. If I happen to miss any, do feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. So let's kick things off with the most likely scenario that I already hinted to in the beginning. The enemies are running something you were not expecting and you've been quickly overrun. One of the best examples for that is a Winston diving onto your supports in conjunction with a Zarya shield and you had no Reaper to take him out. Well, the most important thing in those situations at any point in the match is that everyone, and I mean everyone, turns around to kill the Winston if he dives into your group. Winston is such a huge target to hit and he's very vulnerable for damage once you burn through the shields. And do so. Don't stop firing only because you see a Zarya shield, and his own bubble also has to be bursted through. Take him out of the fight and then immediately focus your attention on the enemy Zarya. Without tanks and with a failed dive onto your supports, the enemies will crumble. Other such situations could be more of a "I didn't think of that" situation, like not running a hit scan character and then having nothing to contest the enemy Pharah. It's important to quickly communicate a swap and then have the designated DPS focus their attention on Pharah at all times. Ideally either force her to swap or make her utterly useless. Other times all it takes is to stop aggression coming from the enemy team. A hero that can punish dives and quick pushes would be Mei, in some circumstances Junkrat as well, but maybe your team is just out on the open too much and gets picked off, which is why you should consider picking up a Reinhardt and or Zarya. In such situations where you're on attack and you get spawn trapped by the enemies, you have the advantage. You can swap to any hero that counters them and kick their faces in, who then will have a long run back to the battlefield. The enemies overextending and pushing you back into spawn is not a sign that your team can't win, but more of a chain of misplays, usually caused by team members being too spread out. The enemies thinking they got this easy in the back and overextending is your chance to punish them and snowball into a straight up sweep. But as I've said earlier, you will never be able to change people's mind who are already set on their opinion that you will lose. I don't really know what to tell you how to deal with them in those kinds of situations. Sometimes I tell them to shut it if they have nothing of value to say, other times I try to convince them that we didn't lose yet, and so on. It really depends on the person you're facing. The best thing you can do is to not let their negativity drag you and the rest of your team down as well, so try to keep the morale as high as possible and don't stop being analytic yourself. But this is me done for the day. Did you guys have to deal with those people as well? If so, how did you handle them? I'll be curious to find out, so do feel free to leave your comments down below. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave me a like on your video if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys next time.
You're powered up. Get in there. Get in there. When you with the pain. Oh, you look tired.
He's asleep.
Oh, nice. I need to kill the healers, guys.
Mercy's dead.
Tracer's almost there.
Okay, we might win here if we can finish them off fast.
Well
Well
played.
done.
Oh, that sleeping dart, I love it.